I've never been one who's ever wanted to come to a youth hostel. I've had neither the figure nor the inclination. But if I were to come to a youth hostel, then certainly I would choose Carbisdale Castle, which must be the most opulent and grandest youth hostel, I would say, in the world. But certainly here in Ross-Shire, it is a place that is just something so unique. In fact, for me, to die for. You know, it's amazing as I look out of that window that I see that beautiful countryside and sunshine. I don't know why I should be amazed at seeing sunshine here in Ross-Shire, but people always get this idea of the Highlands of Scotland, especially the far north, as always being rainy.
It's not always rainy. No, we do get a good fair share of sunshine up here.
Scottish youth hostling, what is the difference between the YHA in the rest of Britain and what you've got up here in Scotland?
There are actually different associations. The SYHA is the Scottish Youth Hostel Association, and only goes down to the border with England, and it becomes the YHA. They're all affiliated to the International Youth Hostel Association, which is a worldwide organisation. I think about 3,000 youth hostels.
I didn't know it went outside of the British Isles.
Yes.
So it's a worldwide thing.
Worldwide organisation. One of the largest membership organisations in the world. I think it comes just behind the scouting organisation in membership.
And is it membership for individuals or for the actual hostels themselves?
A membership that an individual will take out will allow them access to any of the youth hostels in the world.
Really?
Yep, so you can be travelling around in China, they're just starting to open up youth hostels as well. But,
Goodness me. I didn't realise that. And you're a registered charity as well, aren't you?
That's correct, yeah.
So what is the point of it? Is it to allow, and not just young people, because I saw a rather mature lady, and you think of youth hostling, but you don't have to be youthful, do you?
No.
In spirit?
In spirit, yeah.
Work that one out for us.
The youth hostels in Scotland started to allow young folk from the industrial cities access to the countryside.
Gotcha.
From there, it's snowballed into a much larger organisation, and now, like you say, it's not really a youth hostels, it's anybody hostels.
Yes. From
very small children up to grandparents with their parents as well.
And do you all have to share like dormitories and things? Because that's what scares me. Because we've all got very strange habits, you know. Yeah. I don't know why I look there at that lot. But we all have, our idiosyncrasies, don't we?
That's right. And what we provide is a variety of accommodation, from specialised family units for families with very young children, family rooms, small dormitories for maybe a small group of friends. But we do still have the dormitory accommodation, which is generally bunk bed accommodation, rooms up to 8 to 10 beds, where men will be in one room and ladies will be in a separate room. And these people won't actually be travelling around together, they'll be individuals. But it's a great way to meet people.
Yes, yes. And see the world.
Exactly.
If I say cheaply, would I be accurate when I say that? How much would it cost to stay, say, somewhere as opulent as Carbisdale?
At Carbisdale and in the other hostels in Scotland, there's a variety of prices, from at the basic end of things, the smaller hostels from about £5 a night, to Carbisdale or Glasgow, Edinburgh, which includes breakfast as well, up to £13 a night.
Gosh, but that is
so
amazing.
To stay in a place like this, in a castle like this, I think you get a really good deal for that price.
Yeah, listen, I'm saying it. He's not just saying it. I mean, really, this is the most beautiful. This is like a little palace. This is such an enchanting room. Exquisite Italian marble with ladies in Greek classical pose. Beautiful forms and bodies, all enriched by the most sumptuous of colours, greens and reds, like you've never seen before, or would expect to see here. Jamie, tell us why this place was built here in the middle of nowhere. Because it's not a proper castle, is it?
Well, it certainly is a proper castle, and so far as I understand, It's the newest castle in Scotland.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
What I should have said was then, it wasn't one for defence, was it?
Not for defence, no. For accommodation, as a residence. It was built, well, they started to build it about 1905, completed in 1917.
So it is very new,
So it is very new,
in
yeah.
castle terms.
Exactly, yeah. And it was built for a lady called Mary Caroline Blair, Duchess of Sutherland. The reason for this would be that she was married to a gentleman called the Duke of Sutherland, who lived up on the north-east coast up there at a place called Dunroban Castle. When her husband, the Duke of Sutherland, died, he left all of the Sutherland estates, one of the wealthiest estates in the world at that time, to his wife. Obviously, this didn't go down very well with her stepson, the next Duke of Sutherland. The will was contested, and her stepson managed to get the Sutherland estates, Dunroban Castle, and all the other major houses that went with the estates back into the Sutherland family. The outcome for the Duchess was that the house befitting her station should be built for her, so long as it was outside of Sutherland lands. The river that's just here was at that time the border between Ross-Shire and Sutherland.
Oh, right.
So she built the castle on this highest vantage point overlooking the railway, where the Duke travelled up and down on his train. Locally, the story goes that she built this place here out of spite to the next Duke. Because he used to travel up and down on the railway, up and down to London quite often, there was no way that he could avoid actually seeing the castle. It became locally known as the Castle of Spite. A good example of that may be that when the Duke travelled south on the train, the porters on the train would shut all the curtains on the right-hand side of the train. When he was travelling north, they'd shut all the curtains on the left-hand side of the train.
Petty or what?
So that he wouldn't be able to see the train. Also, the story goes, sorry.
Sorry, when the train went past, would she sort of be there at the top window, looking down?
This is a possibility. But the clock face on the tower up here, the face that faces the railway, doesn't have a clock on it. Because the story goes that she wouldn't give him the time of day.
Fantastic.
So, whether these stories are true or not, but
hell hath no fury like a woman's scorn.
Exactly.
Oh, of course it's true. Of course it's true. Especially that one. She wouldn't give him the time of day. Isn't that just brilliant?
It sounds good.
Oh, it's wonderful.
So, the Duchess died. The castle went on the market and was sold to the Salverson family. The Salversons made their fortune through whaling in the early 19th century.
Is that in the northern southern ports like Ullapool?
I think mainly it was in the southern hemisphere that did most of their business, possibly South Georgia, around the Falkland Islands, places like that. Mm-hmm.
So why on earth were they linked here then?
Salverson family were of Norwegian extraction, and I think possibly a lot of their business interests were based in Scotland as well.
Right.
Colonel Salverson, who was the owner of the castle, and lived here during the Second World War, was also the honorary president of the Scottish Youth Hostels Association. There we have a link in the future between the SYHA and Carbisdale Castle.
Being a Scottish youth hostel.
Yeah.
Youth hostel.
During the Second World War, while the Salverson family lived here, he used the castle as a hospital for the wounded soldiers, and also as a refuge for King Haakon and his son Prince Olav of Norway.
And Queen Maud?
No, just the two gentlemen.
Oh, just them. What happened to Queen Maud? We like Queen Maud. We've done postcards on Queen Maud.
Yep.
She had sardines named after her. Yeah, little herringy things called silds or something. But anyway, that's enough of Queen Maud.
Yep.
So King Haakon was here with his son Olav.
Sadly, Colonel Salverson died, and the castle was passed on to his son, Captain Salverson. Captain Salverson only kept the castle for a very short time and then donated it to the Scottish Youth Hostels Association.